Hello, today we're still gonna continue our Leetcode 150 problems. We're right now gonna be working on problem 347, top K frequent elements. This problem is actually quite difficult and it's also smart at the same time. And the way that I am going to solve it, in this video, we're gonna use bucket sort, and I am going to explain how we're gonna use bucket sort for this. So the problem statement here said given an integer array nums with this example over here and an integer k here, return the k most frequent elements. You may return the answer in any order. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw this right here. So imagine we have nums array over here that has, according to that, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, and then 3 in the array, and then it's given k in there, and k in this case is number 2. So initially the way that we're going to do this is we're going to use a hash map. So we're going to count the number of occurrence of each of the um, distinct element in the array. So in our case over here, we're going to do like the for loop to check each of the array. And in our first loop, we actually, I'm just going to call it HM, a hash map. So in the initial loop that we did a hash map, the first one, which is number 1 over here, we're gonna be key is number 1, and then number 1 is now called 1 time, so it's number 1 here. So in this case, the key is the distinct element in the array, and the value is the number of occurrence of that key. So, and then now we move on to the second loop, which is also number 1. So 1, the key is already there. So the value is now going to be 2 because it occurred twice now, followed by the third loop. It's still number 1, and so now number 1 is occur 3 times now. So the value is 3. And then the fourth is number 2. We don't have the key for 2 yet, so now we have the key for number 2. So number 2 is in that hash map, and it's occur 1 time. So on and so forth. So that's the example. So now we know at the end we're gonna get like 1 occur 3 times, 2 occur 2 times, and then 3 occur 1 time. So we has this, and to only grab the k element, the naive approach that we could do, we would like um, use a for loop onto this hash map that we stored, and then sort it based off the value of that hash map. So we could do it that way, but it's a little slow. It's gonna be like n time l log l or k log k in this case because of the sorting algorithm. So we could actually make this into O of n. And the way that we're gonna do it is we're gonna use bucket sort. So right now, if you notice, this is already O of n time. And what we could do over here is we could create a loop that store like the count of um, the element up in the top as the key, and then the value would be the value of the distinct element in form of like an array like this. So let's just do we could like start counting from 0 or 1, it doesn't really matter. So 0, 1 all the way to like the number of elements in this list. So in this case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length is 6 for this array. So like this. And then after that, all right, let's do it this way actually. I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. And then after that, we're gonna check it through our hash map to see the the value and its occurrence. So when we grab number 1, we know that number 1 occurred 3 times. So in this case, in the count, which is our key over here, we're gonna store 1. And then number 2 occurred twice. So in this case, it's 2 in here, and then number 3 occur um, just 1. So here number 3 would be in this right here. And then we could just return like the top 2 element, which in this case would be this 2 and 1 right here. So we could just check it and like loop through that from the really last, like the 6 first, in descending order, and then grab like the length of the k and return it that way. So we could do it this way. And now that we have a better understanding on how to solve this, let's just work on the code right now. So, like we said, so we're still gonna do all those counting of occurrence for each element in the beginning. So I'm just gonna create like a hash map called hash map, which is gonna be a dictionary, and I'm also gonna create like our bucket sort. Um, I just call it bucket sort as well. And so now we're gonna loop through the elements in num. So we do for I in range lang nums. Um, and then now we're gonna populate the not nums, but we're gonna populate a hash map. So the key would be the element in the list. So we can do hash map dot set default, and then a set default would be the key would be the element of list of the nums I, and the value would start at 0. And now that we have the key, we could do a hash map, and then we could access that num I plus equal 1. This way we're gonna get like the occurrence of each of the element in that array. And then now that we work on a hash map, we could populate our bucket sorts as well. So we could do bucket sort dot set default, and then we could set default the I till well, it would be I plus 1, because we don't have to start at 0. We can just start at 1 and then move it all the way to the length nums. And then this would be the list, because just in case, so this example here, this is this thing, but just in case we have like 2 over here, then in number 3 occurrence, we will have 1 comma 2 right here. So that's why we store this as an array in the bucket sort hash map. So now we have our bucket sort. What we could do after is we're gonna loop through the hash map and then populate that onto our bucket sorts, like the occurrence. So yeah, let's do that. So for key in hash map, so we get the key in hash map. So the value, as you know, is the number of occurrence. So number of occurrence will be equal to hash map value. So we do a hash map and then access the value through the key, and then we're gonna use it in a bucket sort. So it will be buckets, can't spell, bucket sort, and we're gonna access that number of currents in the bucket sort, and then we're gonna do dot append key. So we want it like that. And then now that our bucket sort is stored, we're gonna loop through that. So um, let's do while. All right, so we can get the length of the num. Let's just do num length. Lang nums up here, and we can store it so that we could reuse it. Okay, so while it greater than 0, um, we could, and then we could like have it decrease by 1 minus plus 1. And so what we could do is we could do if bucket sort, if there is like data in there, lang num, we could do not bucket sort, let's store result here in the dictionary, not dictionary, list and array. So result dot extend, we do extend because we don't want a list of a list, we want that list to grow. So we're gonna extend whatever that is in the bucket sort value, and then we check if result is greater or equal to the key, the k, not key. Then we're gonna return result at 0 through k. So let's run this. Oh, I spelled hash map wrong, ain't I? Yeah, hash map. Run this. What happened here? Oh, I also spelled set default wrong. What if result? Oh, if the length of the result. Cool. So now we pass a test case that's submitted. Cool. It's passes too. This is actually O of N. So yes, that's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye.